Hello, welcome to another video. It is time for my July MBR. May be read, may not be read. Who knows? June has absolutely flown by, so what's up with that? But it's time to think about what I might read in July. Everything very much up in the air. I don't know how much time I'm gonna have for reading in July. I don't know what my personal situation is going to be like in July, and that's something I'm quite conscious of at the minute. But the books I have in front of me prove that I'm still aiming for the stars. I would like to keep up the reading roll that I have been on. So, what's on the list? First things first, I am currently in June on my reread of Ruin of Kings. I'm about halfway and absolutely adoring it. I will be finishing this week. I'm halfway. I'll be finishing it this week. That is a no-brainer for me. So I'm still doing that, which means that in July, I will be moving on to my reread of The Name of All Things by Jen Lyons. This is, again, part of my Patreon buddy read, as Ruin of Kings is. We'll be doing a book a month until we finish the series. They are all rereads for me because I have read the series before. It is one of my all-time favourite series. And this is book 2. I'm not going to talk about this for too long because I feel like I've spoken about Ruin of Kings a lot lately. I am going to be doing a complete rundown, spoiler breakdown of everything that happens in Ruin of Kings vlog, so keep an eye out for that in the next couple of weeks or something. And I will be doing the same for this, and I'm going to do it for the rest of the series. So I won't talk too much about this, but book 2 in the Chorus of Dragons series, I am super duper excited to continue my reread, and this is my number 1 priority. Another one I am super eager to continue into July is One Piece. I have the next 3 volumes in this bind-up for One Piece, and I'm pretty sure Gavin may have sent me some of the others for my birthday. This video will be going up on my birthday. So at the point of you seeing this, I may have more One Piece. Thanks, Gav. But yeah, One Piece. I am super excited to continue this. I will be doing another vlog finishing out the East Blue saga, arc, whatever you want to call it, which will be this bind-up, and then the next bind-up of the 3 would be the end of the East Blue saga. It was chaotic fun. I have a vlog about the first 2 bind-ups that I read, my reactions, my thoughts, my feelings, how much fun I had, so feel free to go and check that out. But One Piece is about a boy called Luffy who wants to become king of the pirates, and he is a gum-gum man, a rubber man. He has these super stretchy abilities, and he is just so driven and so chaotic and so passionate about his dream and creating his pirate crew. I had such a good time beginning this story, and I have since been told it's the greatest story ever told, and I'm really excited to continue, so eager to do that in July. It'll be nice to, again, hopefully sit out in the sunshine and read some piratey fun, surprisingly violent piratey fun, but I have really been enjoying it, so I'm very keen to continue. Next up is one that I did mention on my June maybe read, which is Legacy of Light. I just haven't got to this in June, and I'm very disappointed in that in myself, so I would love to get to it in July. Another chonker, but I would really like to get to this sooner rather than later. After reading Legacy of Ash and Legacy of Steel back to back, I really need to get on Legacy of Light. It's the last one. I know it's probably going to make me cry and absolutely destroy me, but I've got to know what happens, because the first 2 were so good. I was so invested, and I still am. I say was. I still am, and I really do want to get to this. The thing that's making this a little bit more intimidating to me is with the first 2, I had the audiobooks and was reading along. There is no audiobook for Legacy of Light. It just doesn't exist. So I'm a bit annoyed by that, and my annoyance from that has then just made me keep putting this off, because almost I want to find out where that audiobook is, but it just doesn't exist. So that's not going to happen. And I just need to come to terms with the fact that I'm not going to have the narrators in my ears as I read this like I did with the others. I'll just have to use my imagination, which is usually fine. I can read. I'm very capable of reading without an audiobook. I think I just became attached to the narrator a little bit. I need to get over that and just pick this up and read it. I love these characters. Again, I feel like this is one that I've spoken about a lot recently in like best books of the year so far, the mid-year freakout tag, last month's MBR, so I won't go on about it too much. But I am loving the series, loving these characters, love the politics, the magic, the mayhem, having a great time with the series, just need to get my butt in gear and finish it. So there's that. Let's surprise you all with something else that I'm in the mood for, which is some of my foodie romance. I fancy reading Tacos for Two. I want to do some foodie romance. I feel like summer is always such a like romance mood for a lot of mood readers. And I would like to try and lean into that a little bit this summer. Like, I'm filming this on a day where it's actually really grey and miserable outside, but it's gonna be July, you know? There should be sunshine in July. That's pretty normal to expect. So maybe a nice day in the sun reading a romance, particularly a foodie romance because I have my type, would be quite nice, maybe? So, Tacos for Two. This one, from what I know, obviously I haven't read it yet, is about a woman whose aunt passes away and she inherits her aunt's food truck, which is a taco truck. And one of their, like, loyal but very demanding customers where their food truck is this really, like, snooty law firm. And I think one of the guys from the law firm ends up being the love interest, but he doesn't want to be a lawyer, he also wants to do food or something. So he enters a food festival competition, as does our main character. But what they don't know, I think, is that they have anonymously already fallen for each other on an anonymous online dating app. And then they compete at the food festival. I haven't read this. I think that's what this is about. Hopefully it's a good time. I have relatively decent hopes for this, so we will see how it goes. But yeah, throwing a little bit of a curveball in for July. Another one that may be a little bit of a curveball is that I want to give Mexican Gothic a go in July. With my Patreon, part of my Patreon, we do a Pokeathon, readathon, a readathon based on Pokemon. I'll get to why this is relevant. And within that, we have 24-hour gyms, which are 24-hour readathons to represent the gyms of Pokemon throughout the year. And the upcoming gym for July only has one prompt, which is bizarre. Like, they're based on the types of Pokemon that you would battle at that gym or catch at that gym for the readathon. Doing a bad job of explaining the readathon, but I'm doing a 24-hour readathon with my patrons where the only prompt is to read something Gothic. So I'm going to try and give this one a go for my Patreon 24-hour readathon. I have loved everything I have read from Sylvia Marina Garcia. This one scares me a little bit because when it first came out, I remember hearing about it being a bit more like creepy and horror-y, but I don't know. We'll see. Like, creepy, atmospheric, I can do. If it gets, like, scary, I don't know. But I think it's more creepy atmospheric, right? Reassure me on that one. But I'm gonna give it a go anyway. I have no idea what this is actually about other than creepy atmosphere. Something to do with mushrooms and a house? I don't know. But I'm gonna give it a shot. So we'll try this one too. And then the last one on my list, because clearly I'm feeling over-ambitious here, is that I don't know why the Sword of Keigen is just calling to me at the minute. Of all of the ones on this list, I feel like this is the one I am least likely to get to in July, but it's on my mind, so I want to mention it, because I am a mood reader these days, so I might get to it sooner than I think, because it is on my mind. But also, it's another chunker, and I have other higher priority chunkers to get to, so we'll see what happens. But this is on my mind. It's also on my priority list for the year, so I need to get to it in that respect this year. But something about it is just calling to me right now. This is about powerful fighters, I believe. They're warriors capable of rising the sea and wielding blades of ice. Right? Sounds like my cup of tea. They've held the Empire's enemies at bay, earning their treacherous spirit land the name the Sword of Keigen. Born into this legendary family, a 14-year-old boy has always known his purpose, to master his family's fighting technique and defend his homeland. But when an outsider arrives and pulls back the curtain on Keigen's alleged age of peace, he realises he might not have much time before he has to become the fighter he was bred to be. And then there's a woman as well who left the passions of her youth behind when she married into the Matsuru house. Determined to be a good housewife and mother, she hid away her sword and everything from her days as a fighter. But with her son asking questions about the outside world, a threat of invasion looming on the horizon, and her frigid husband grating on her nerves, she finds the fighter in her clawing its way back to the surface. And that storyline interests me a lot. Like, I want to see that woman bring the fighter back out of her that she has hidden away for the sake of her husband. I want to see that happen. But I know that this is supposed to be really emotional, and I want to read it. It's on my mind. I'm thinking about it. I would like to get to it. But will I realistically? I don't know. And that's all of the ones on my immediate list. However, I am filming this a few days before my birthday, and I know that on my birthday, I am probably going to open books. Will I be distracted by those new books and want to read those instead? Very possibly. So, keep an eye out for the birthday unboxing that will be coming in a couple of days or whenever it does, because there's probably going to be books in that I end up gravitating towards just because they're newer and fresher. But this is currently what's on my mind and my priorities. This is why I call this a MBR these days, might be read, because there's no pressure on this, and I have been feeling that since doing the MBRs rather than the TBRs, or just not setting any expectations of myself, my reading has definitely improved. I think being a mood reader suits me a little bit more, like not having the pressures of book clubs and must-reads and setting myself a list with punishment if I don't achieve it. Like, I am one of those people, I think, where if you tell me I have to do something, I then want to do anything but that thing. Even if I wanted to do that thing to start with and then someone says, oh yeah, you have to do it anyway, it's like, well now I don't want to. So I think I was doing that to myself with my reading, so we'll see what July brings. I'll stop rambling, but that is my little list of plans for what I may or may not read in July. Let me know if you've read any of the books that I have mentioned on this list, any that you think I need to prioritise getting to ASAP, and let me know what you are looking forward to reading in July as well. I would love to know. But thank you ever so much for hanging out with me for a little bit here, and I shall see you in whatever comes next. Bye!